But the reality is I think you were onto something before a lot of us, specifically about Jay-Z. And there are some clips I want to watch with you, particularly one of Rihanna that really freaked me out. This clip, guys.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, you did it homework.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
All right, let's get into it. People are losing their minds right now over whispers flying across the internet. The kind of whispers that make you stop and think, wait, is this even real? Because if it is, this could shake the entire industry. The latest, Jay-Z is supposedly suing A$AP Rocky. But that's not even the wildest part. Beyoncé is allegedly coming for Rihanna. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, before anyone starts clutching their pearls, let's be real. This is messy. The internet is eating it up, but what's the truth? Are these lawsuits actually happening? Or is this just another case of smoke and mirrors? Some people are even speculating that Roc Nation is pulling off some sort of PR stunt to shift attention away from something bigger. Others think this might be another classic case of Diddy's favorite trick, flooding the media with distractions when things get too hot. It all sounds crazy, but with the way the industry works, nothing is ever just what it seems. So what's really going on? Let's go. Now, here's where things start getting weird. Alleged legal documents started making the rounds online, supposedly showing that lawsuits have been filed in the Virgin Islands District Court. One with Jay-Z going after A$AP Rocky, and the other, Beyoncé allegedly suing Rihanna. But just as fast as these documents appeared, they vanished, deleted, wiped off the internet like they were never even there. That alone set off alarms because if something is real, why would it suddenly disappear? It almost feels like someone didn't want too many eyes on it, like it wasn't meant to be found in the first place. And then the inconsistencies started piling up. Rihanna's name, misspelled. A$AP Rocky's real name, nowhere to be found. And get this, Beyoncé's supposed lawsuit was only for $100,000. That's pennies for someone at her level. It doesn't add up. Why would she go through the trouble of filing legal action for an amount that's barely a blip on her financial radar? People are starting to ask the real question, was this even legit? Or is it part of something bigger? A distraction? A stunt? Or maybe even a warning shot from someone behind the scenes? Something about this just isn't sitting right. Now, if we're talking about real lawsuits...
She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and while she was asleep. No snacking on his bitch. Killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her a restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else.
There actually is one connected to Beyonce, but it has nothing to do with Rihanna. Instead, it's about a copyright infringement case tied to her record label, Parkwood Entertainment. And this one is real. A songwriter named Melvin Moore has taken legal action, claiming that his work was stolen and used without permission. And the person at the center of it, Chloe Bailey, who, as we all know, is signed under Beyoncé's label. Moore alleges that songs from Chloe's album Trouble in Paradise were ripped straight from his original work. And he's not just making noise. He's demanding $5 million per song in damages. That's no small claim. But it gets worse. He's accusing Parkwood Entertainment of falsely crediting other people for his work, which, if true, means someone else was profiting off of something that allegedly belonged to him. If this holds up in court, it could get ugly real fast. So while the whole Beyoncé suing Rihanna thing seems questionable at best, this one is very real. And if Moore's claims are legit, Beyoncé's team could have some serious legal trouble on their hands. Now let's talk about Jay-Z, because his name got dragged into this mess too. And just like Beyoncé's supposed lawsuit against Rihanna, the claim that he's suing A$AP Rocky, completely falling apart. The only real lawsuit tied to Jay-Z right now has nothing to do with A$AP. Instead, it's linked to Diddy's ongoing legal nightmare. something that has already sent shockwaves through the industry. But as for this supposed case against Rocky, Roc Nation shut that down fast. Not only did they deny the claims, but they did it with style. Instead of just issuing a generic statement, they basically mocked the whole thing, implying it wasn't just false, but almost laughably ridiculous. And they didn't stop there. They even threw in a cheeky reference to A$AP Rocky's upcoming album title, which made it pretty clear that this so-called lawsuit was never real to begin with. So if anyone was still holding on to the idea that Jay-Z and A$AP were battling it out in court, it's time to let that go. This one was fabricated from the jump. But that just leaves one big question. Who put this out there in the first place? And why? Beyonce and Rihanna, two of the biggest names in the game, yet people have been trying to pit them against each other for years.
There's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men.
Jay-Z, over the course of his career, and I have to still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
The narrative has always been the same. Beyoncé is jealous. But is that really the case? Or is this just another long-running industry myth? Rihanna came into the music scene later, but when she did, she made waves. She was young, fresh, and had that unmistakable star quality. And who was the one to sign her? Jay-Z. That alone fueled rumors from the start, especially considering he was still closely tied to Beyoncé. The speculation that Beyoncé wasn't exactly thrilled about another rising superstar being backed by her man. But here's the thing. Early on, Rihanna actually looked up to Beyoncé. She even got a personal letter from her at the beginning of her career. A letter where Beyoncé gave her advice, telling her to have fun and be in control while performing. If there was bad blood back then, it wasn't coming from Rihanna's side. So why has the public been so convinced that there's tension between them? Is it just the industry pitting two powerful women against each other? Or was there actually something brewing behind the scenes? Now, this is where things really get messy. For years, people have whispered about an alleged affair between Jay-Z and Rihanna, fueling the idea that Beyoncé's had a problem with Rihanna from the very beginning. And if even a fraction of these rumors are true, it would explain a lot. Word on the street is that back in 2005, things got so bad that Beyoncé and Jay-Z actually separated for an entire year. And why? Because of Rihanna. Allegedly, some sources claim Beyoncé was devastated when she saw Jay-Z and Rihanna show up at a party together, holding hands. Now, whether that moment was taken out of context or not, what followed was intense. People say Beyoncé completely broke down. We're talking full-on, uncontrollable sobbing, while Jay-Z, he just ignored her. If that's true, that's cold. And it would mean the so-called rivalry isn't just about music, it's personal.
And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In
to
the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
And just when you think it can't get any wilder, there's another layer to this mess. Some reports claim that Rihanna gave Chris Brown an STD. And where did she supposedly get it from? Allegedly, Jay-Z. If that's true, then this isn't just about cheating. It's about betrayal, humiliation, and secrets that might have been buried for years. But here's the real question. Is any of this true? Or is it just another chapter in the long history of the industry tearing women down with scandal? Because whether these rumors are real or not, one thing is clear. People want to believe them. And if you thought the drama ended there, think again. Because the rumors don't stop at jealousy or even an alleged affair. No, some people believe Beyoncé actually tried to sabotage Rihanna's career. And the receipts, if true, they paint a pretty shady picture. One of the biggest accusations, that Beyoncé pushed Jay-Z to leak Rihanna's Anti album early on title, completely messing up its rollout. Now, let's be clear. When an album gets leaked, it can ruin an artist's entire marketing strategy. It kills momentum. It hurts sales. And if this was done on purpose, that's not just petty, it's calculated. But that's not all. People also believe Beyoncé made sure her own album formation got priority over ANTI, securing more promo, more industry backing, and more spotlight. And let's be real, Beyoncé has influence. If she wanted to make sure she remained the bigger name, she could pull those strings behind the scenes. And then there's the biggest allegation of them all, that Beyoncé has been quietly controlling Rihanna's career from the very beginning. Think about it. Rihanna signed to Jay-Z's label when she was a teenager. If Beyoncé had an issue with her, she would have had the perfect opportunity to limit her growth, slow her success, and make sure she never reached her level. Of course, these are just rumors, but given how often Rihanna's career seemed to hit roadblocks, especially when she was at her peak, you have to wonder, was it just bad luck? Or was there someone making sure she never got too close to the throne? And just when you think the saga couldn't get any more twisted, there's another layer of controversy that changes everything. Turns out, some of the rumors that fueled the so-called Beyoncé versus Rihanna feud may have been planted from the very start. Jonathan, Rihanna's former publicist, actually came forward and admitted that he created the affair rumors between Jay-Z and Rihanna. And why? To boost her career. According to him, it was nothing more than a publicity stunt to push Pond to replay and get people talking. But here's the thing, he later regretted it, because while it may have helped Rihanna gain traction, it also supposedly caused real damage to Beyoncé. But that's just the beginning, because while Jonathan may have admitted to fabricating the rumors, there were still real investigations happening behind the scenes. And some of them, they went all the way to the federal level. The FBI reportedly looked into Jay-Z, not just because of the Rihanna situation, but because of who else he was allegedly connected to. Authorities were digging into his ties to R. Kelly, which, if true, raises all kinds of disturbing questions. But what's even more alarming, the allegations that Jay-Z illegally transported Rihanna across borders when she was underage. If this investigation was legit, it wasn't just about cheating rumors or industry drama anymore. It was about possible criminal activity. And if that's the case, then maybe the real story isn't about whether Beyoncé was jealous of Rihanna. Maybe it's about what she knew and what she was trying to survive. Now here's where things take a turn, because if you're wondering who might be behind all this confusion, all signs are starting to point in one direction. And that direction? Diddy. People are saying that his team might be the ones responsible for planting these false lawsuit stories in the first place. And if that's true, it wouldn't be just for fun. There's a strategy behind it. The goal? Flood the internet with so much noise that people don't know what to believe anymore. Think about it. Right now, Hollywood is on fire. Big names are being exposed left and right. Lawsuits, investigations, career-ending accusations. It's all happening at once. And what better way to protect certain powerful people than to drown the truth in lies?
Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people, he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right, and people know.
If the public is too busy debating whether Beyoncé is suing Rihanna, they might not be paying attention to the real scandals happening behind the scenes. And if there's anyone who understands how to manipulate the media, it's Diddy. So ask yourself, why did these lawsuits suddenly appear and disappear? Why were they so obviously fake? And who actually benefits from all this confusion? Because one thing is for sure, somebody is pulling the strings. At the end of the day, those lawsuits, they don't seem real. But the tension between Beyoncé and Rihanna, that's a different story. Because whether or not Beyoncé actually tried to sabotage Rihanna, there's no denying the industry has fueled this rivalry for years. And the biggest question still lingers. Why have these two never collaborated? They've both worked closely with Jay-Z. They've both dominated the charts. But somehow, they've never come together on a track. Is that just a coincidence? Or proof that there's been something brewing behind the scenes all along? Then there's the jealousy angle. Some people swear Beyoncé has always envied Rihanna's rise. Others say the industry just loves pitting powerful women against each other. But with all the history, the rumors, and the alleged sabotage, you have to wonder, was there ever a moment where Beyoncé actually felt threatened? And finally, was this lawsuit drama really just a failed hoax? Or was it part of a bigger scheme to keep the public distracted? If Diddy's team was behind it, that would mean there are even bigger stories they don't want us to see. At this point, it's anyone's guess. But what do you think? Is there real tension between Beyoncé and Rihanna? Or is this just another case of the internet doing what it does best, stirring the pot? Let me know in the comments, because this one is far from over.